So coming up first on the mic, we have the best man, Will. Speak closer, okay?
What'd you say?
Be very close to it, otherwise no one's going to hear you.
Hello? Okay. Maybe not that close. There we go. Perfect. All right. So before I get, before I get started, guys, I got a beautiful speech that I wrote about 5 minutes ago, so I'm super excited about. But I wanted to go ahead and thank everybody for being here. I know a lot of people came from all the way across the United States to be here. The weather hasn't been perfect, but everyone's been really upbeat, really positive to be here to support Mike and Rasha, so that's been awesome. Staff has been great to make sure it's nice and dry. Everybody give everybody a round of applause. Awesome, so thank you all. So, as I was writing this speech, one of the things that came up a constant was the question, how do I go for 10 years of friendship and be able to write that down in a 2 or 3 minute speech? So what I wanted to do is kind of talk about Mike. So I wrote a couple things down and I marked most of them out. So the thing I really wanted to write about was maybe his personality, right? How he's always staying so composed under pressure, so calm all the time. Maybe his beautiful hobbies, like the UCLA Bruins, San Francisco 49ers, and the Los Angeles Lakers. Yes. Exactly. But somebody told me, if you're gonna be emotional, you should be vulnerable, right? So a lot of y'all know me, but most of you don't know this story. So I was actually a foster kid. So when I graduated, I joined the Army. When I came home, I didn't really have a support system. I didn't have the mom and dad to help out with money. I didn't have them to give me advice on relationships or help me out with what job I should take or what career path I should take. But I really do believe that God puts somebody in your life when you need it. And that's what Mike was for me. So when I was thinking, there was a story that really came up. About 8 years ago, I was moving into my nice new apartment, just turned in my keys, right? So I go to pick up the new keys, and of course they said, we actually rented out your apartment to somebody else. You can get a new one in 2 weeks. So without that support system, I frantically called around freaking out. Mike, being the friend he was, said, don't worry. Without asking, his roommate said, you can sleep on my couch. Luckily, a case of beer goes a long way for 24-year-old college students, and many of us are still friends to this day. So we have a lot of those stories, whether it's relationships, jobs. I can think back to times when I didn't know if this was the person for me. And a lot of your friends are gonna say, she's pretty, stay with her, or she's great, you're having a good time. And Mike was the one that would sit back and say, she's not the one for you and you know it. Just go ahead, there's somebody better out there for you. And right now I'm in a wonderful relationship because of Mike giving me that advice. Career advice. At 28, I actually went back to school because Mike encouraged me to have the guts to go back to school at 28. Right now, I'm doing really well as an engineer, and that was because of Mike. He gave me that advice. He gave me that inspiration. That's what a true friend does, and that's what Mike is, a true friend. And I got a lot of these stories. But as every great man, or I am a great man, but as every best man's speech is, I Googled a wonderful quote, and I am gonna steal it as my own, all right? There's nothing more dangerous than a man who finds a purpose. He's unstoppable, he's undeterred, and he's singularly focused. That purpose is sitting right next to Mike right now. Rasha is amazing. She's beautiful, she's smart, and she's very, very brave. She also brings balance to Mike. She's calm when Mike is anxious. She's decisive when Mike is uncertain. She laughs when Mike tells the same joke for the 100th time. And she believes when Mike says his sports teams aren't gonna suck this year. But all jokes aside, this is a wonderful couple, and they brought us all here today to celebrate the idea of love. No matter what your background, no matter who you are, that if you have a singular focus together as a team, you can achieve anything. And that's the inspiration that we have here next to each other. And that's something that I'm really proud and honored to be a part of. So everyone, I forgot my champagne glass, but everyone hold up their glass, and everyone give a toast to Mr. and Mrs. Winston.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, round of applause one more time for the best man, Will. All right, next up on the mic, we have the maid of honor, Christina.
Okay, thank you. All right, not quite as tall or quite as funny as the best man, so please bear with me, but yes. All right, hi everyone. I'm Christina, one of Rasha's many bridesmaids, and I'm really honored to be here tonight celebrating Mike and Rasha. And I'm also really honored for the opportunity to hopefully embarrass you guys just a little bit with my speech. Let's see. So I've known the happy couple for the past 4 years, basically ever since I started going and hanging out with the dog park crew. So. For those of you who don't know, all of the bridesmaids here are from the dog park crew. So, yes, we are basically a fun-loving group of dog owners who frequent the Stoner Dog Park in West LA. So, you could really say that Maxie, Mike and Rasha's dog, they're the ones who brought us all here together today. So, thank you, Maxie. And so, from that first day that I met Mike, Rasha, and Maxie, to today, there's been one main theme in our friendship and in your relationship that just kept popping up. So Mike and Rasha have an unselfish concern for the welfare of others, and that is a mouthful, but let me talk about it. So let's look at Rasha's bridal party over here, right? When we all went out wedding dress shopping with Rasha, not only did she do a coffee run and pack snacks for that wedding dress shopping trip, but she also drove us all to the store. I mean, come on, that's crazy. And then another example, my husband and I back there, we recently moved out to Torrance from West LA. Very sad to leave our crew here. And Rasha single-handedly planned a goodbye trip from us. From the invite to reminding people to even these adorable little dog decorations, she planned it all. And keep in mind, she was planning her own wedding at the same time, so selfless. So Rasha had every opportunity to be a bridezilla, honestly, in her wedding era, but she didn't. She took every chance that she could to make sure each one of us was having a good time, to make sure each one of us felt comfortable. So Rasha's huge love for others is so rare, and it's so special, and I'm sure it's just one of the many reasons why Mike is in love with Rasha. But it's not a one-way street here, okay? Mike is also a big romantic who really thinks a lot for Rasha. After our weekend in Vegas for the Bachelorette, Mike not only picked Rasha up from LAX on a Sunday, the busiest airport probably on the busiest day of the week, but he also brought her flowers. So considerate. And let's not forget that he planned her last 2 birthday parties, basically making it so that Rasha could just show up and be loved by everyone. So Mike and Rasha's love for one another and their innate selflessness is why I know your marriage is going to be so happy. I know that throughout the years, despite what comes your way, you're going to put the other over yourself, and it'll ensure that your marriage blossoms into something so strong and so unbreakable. So Mike and Rasha, I love you both so much. Congratulations and cheers.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up one more time for the maid of honor, Christina. Thank you very much. All right, and next up on the mic, we have the parents of the groom, Robin and Bruce.
This is a very big deal. First of all, I have no voice. And second, Bruce hardly ever speaks in public, ever. So this is a big compliment to all of you that he's willing to do it.
Thank you.
Okay. So, 1, 2, 3, go.
By the way, before we go on,
Oh.
I just want to let you know that to everyone else, he's Mike. To us, he's always been Michael. And we see? And to his old family. Okay.
Okay. All right. And?
No, not together, just sing. Good evening.
Good evening, friends and family.
As Michael's parents, we want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Your presence at this joyous occasion means so much to us. We also want to thank Rasha's parents, although they were unable to be here, for raising such a kind, thoughtful, and loving woman. Also, a great daughter. As we look around, the affection and happiness that fills the room warms our hearts. It's a reminder of what is truly important in life, and that is love we have for one another. We are so grateful, and we love you.
Michael, since your earliest childhood, we noticed your perceptiveness, sensitivity, determination, and integrity. We raised you to strive to be a mensch, a solid human being with strong values. You have proved to be exactly that. And in particular, you've taken two of our sayings very seriously. It doesn't cost any extra to be nice. And when something's important, you find a way to make it happen. Looking at you now, we see someone who demonstrates compassion and dedication in both your personal and professional life, and we're very proud of you. I'm going to make it through this without crying.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. Rasha, we came to know you gradually, first only by Michael's reference to you, and then by telephone, and finally in person when you moved to Los Angeles. Boy, I remember the first time I met Rasha in person. Come here, and she gave me a big hug. That's all it took. Instant connection. We offered you the option early on of calling us mom and dad rather than by our first names, and you immediately agreed, long before you were officially engaged. This made us feel like you were already part of the family. We have come to love you for the incredible woman you are and for the deep happiness that you've brought to Michael. Oh, I get more, do
Yeah,
I?
you do. Well, you only gave me a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's because that's all I could. Hey, he said yes to a little bit. This is good. Rasha and Michael, we know that you have what it takes to make this marriage work. You overcame obstacles posed by all sorts of differences. You stayed devoted to one another during months of separation when Michael had moved back to LA and Rasha was still in Atlanta. This is a strong love. We have no doubt that your future together will be long and bright.
So, let us raise a glass to these incredible individuals who have blended their futures into one. May your journey together be filled with laughter, adventure, good health, and an abundance of love.
To Rasha and Michael,
Congratulations.
congratulations and best wishes for a lifetime of happiness.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, round of applause one more time for Michael's parents, Robin and Bruce. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, right by now, we got time for one more speech. One more speech. And it's coming from the bride and groom themselves, Rasha and Michael.
I don't know if it's so much a speech as to say just thank you from every person that came from literally around the country and a few around the world. I can't express my gratitude enough. There's a lot of work that went into this to make this possible, and I don't mean just this event today. I mean our relationship, and it's due to all of you. I really can't express my gratitude enough and my love for everyone in this room with all of its, open doors. Hey, would you like to say?
Thank you guys for coming tonight. It won't be the same without you all.
So, cheers to all of you.
Cheers.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, round of applause one more time for the bride and groom.